Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Cang-Toys CY-01 Mini, the Ferocious. This is another one of their impressive looking Legend scale combiner. If you've seen the pictures of it combined floating around, it looks fantastic in combined mode. Now I did get this at Show Z. Show Z did send this over for me to take a look at, and thank you so much. Please enter TH in their viewer code to support, and I get more of these kinds of things to take a look at. But very, very impressive little guy over here. They've done some cool things with this set, different than their Masterpiece. They're not just scaled down from Masterpiece. So let's get into taking a look at Ferocious coming up. All right, here's a box, and it's all kind of in a muted red with a really shiny reflectiveness to it. Just interesting. It's definitely a style of their own. You don't see boxes that look like this from any other company, and this is Cang-Toys for sure. All right, so here he is in his bot mode, and first thing you're going to notice is that, of course, he's not G1 stylized. This is stylized different than G1, and it looks pretty interesting. I like a few things about this one, and I kind of like this a little bit more than some of the other ones. We'll do a comparison to one of their other Legend scale ones, but I like the smooth look to it. The other ones have lots and lots of sharp points to it. This one looks a little bit smoother, and I do appreciate that about it. And looking at it real close, you've got a lot of paint on this everywhere. It's got shiny paint to it, paint on the face, good paint on the tiny little eyes that I probably can't get to zoom in, but even the little tiny eyes are painted really well. You have these silver accents going on, painted such small paint areas. And then I know sometimes they, and I'm pretty sure it's on here too, there's like tiny microscopic numbers painted into it. There's accents down here, paint all over it. But it's an impressive looking little guy overall. Swinging around to the back, he has a tail. It just comes with the tail out, and I'm sure you can tuck it in underneath here or something to just not have a tail, or just depends on how you know what you want going on with this guy. But yeah, overall impressive looking with the paints and all the accents and all the detail they put into it. Now the one downside, and it's with this with a lot of their bots, I don't like the way the kibble just kind of hangs off the arm right here. I've never been a fan of that. I know we've seen that with some blurs and stuff where it's kind of excessive big kibble. If you kind of push them back a bit, it's not as intrusive, but it is kind of the biggest eyesore with this design, with something that's going to have paws. They just kind of hang out right there. But that is, in my opinion, the biggest downside to the aesthetic of this figure. So getting into the accessories, he does have a hand. Give him a hand. What is this, like Thing from Addams Family? Is that what they call it, Thing? Thing? Okay, anyway. There is the hand. It's a nice looking hand overall. It's got some paint on it, sculpted well, and it's not, the fingers splay a little bit, which is cool, but independently, two joints, actually three joints on those. Yeah, 3 joints per finger, so you could get quite a bit of range out of that hand. Also, he comes with a gun. Now, this is impressive because the gun and the sword, they actually do combine to make a bigger one. So all 6 of these combine together to make a much bigger one, and there's the sword. So when you look at this and you go, well, there's only some gold right there, that's because this is just one segment of what's going to be a much bigger sword. They've done this all the way back to TFC Hercules days. It's kind of the same stuff they've been doing back in the day with combiners and combining weapons, but it is kind of cool. But look how big and beefy these weapons are. They are super big and beefy, and I do like that we do have some gold, silver, and black accents on that gun of his, and his sword has silver and gold. Silver and gold. It looks really, really good overall with the weapons accessories, and just makes it look huge. But the bot himself isn't overly bulky. I like he's slim, holding these giant weapons. Right? Because of a design, articulation is a little bit cumbersome, but his head can do, of course, side to side ball joint, up and down, and looks like, is that, I mean, would that be light piping if it's clear on the back? You would think there's some level of light piping in there, but I don't see the light piping. Holding up to some really bright light, yeah, I saw just a little bit of light piping in there. It's not an effect that you really notice on such a little figure. Arms go out to there, 360 on the shoulder. We've got the bicep swivel going on, and then, is it double? double jointed on that. And then the hand does rotate side to side. That's about it. You could actually do some up and down if you popped his transformation part up, if you wanted, for whatever reason, a little up. But then we have waist swivel side to side. You got an ab crunch going about like that. And then, let's see here. Get all these hip flaps out of the way. Almost all the way out to the side, and then almost all the way out to the front. Now, the knee pad kind of gets in the way there, but to go too far in the front, and then the waist, the rear flap can go back, and you can go back this far. Thigh swivel, knee to the 90. Although it is double jointed, there's 2 joints in there. You can't get too much because of the design of how this is designed. And then you have some ankle tiltage, very little bit. Is it on a ball joint? Just sort of everything with the ball joint. And toes. You got toe. So it's got a lot of articulation, but it sort of gets in the way of itself with the way it's designed, because it's kind of a bulkier bot design. All right, so starting out with some comparisons. Here he is next to good old King Mini. And King Mini should be bigger. He is the torso. He's a big part of the torso there. But this is an arm, so that kind of makes sense in my head. All right, here he is next to Optimus Prime, and then the guy who set up Optimus Prime to get killed and took his job, Rodimus. There it is. And I wanted to compare him to the Windblade and the New Age RC for one very important reason. They're still in the review station. All right, now for transformation of this guy. You want to pop this up, fold his hands, and then put that in, flip his foot around, and make the paw. So he's got one going on there, and then same thing over on this other side. I already pre-turned the hand a little bit. Get that in there. Flip this around. There we go. That looks pretty good. We have his head. Bring his head out. Let's see. Let's fold all of this back. We're going to push his head down into here. It's on a rotator right there. And then this is going to come up and tab into this neck. So let's get that neck in there, ready to get tabbed into. To this. There we go. That all popped together nice. There's that. There's his front end. Let's see, push the paw a little bit more forward on that. So we've got the front end of it done. Now we need to flip the waist. Let's get his tail up here and his all this good stuff done. And then we are going to rotate at the lower waist. I'll flip that forward. That's got a little bit of movement to it right there. There, that comes up. And almost around. There it is. So we've got the waist movement moved there. So now we can work on the back part. So we're going to lift up and untab all of this stuff. And this is going to fold around. And then this is going to flip all the way around. Kind of clear the hip flap as you're going and doing all that. Now this is going to come back and fold to make the rear, kind of like so. And then we're going to do that on the other side also. We have to position the leg to look like a cat leg in the back. And then we're not going to tuck the tail and stuff in yet because we have to do this other side. Same exact thing. So untabbing this and then untabbing all of this to the point where you can fold it over, and then you can flip this around. Get that out of the way. Flip it around into here, and then set all this up to tab in. Don't really feel like it tabs. I think it just kind of lays in place. Unless I'm not getting it. I think I can push this in a little more to get it to... Well, it just feels like it lays in place. Anyway, then we're going to put this over here, and we are going to get this into its position with the tail right here. And you got to line it up just right to where these tab together and the tail tabs in. There's a lot going on there. All at the same time. Like... Oh, that's why it's not lining up. You got to push this forward a little bit to get it to line up just right. There it goes. There it goes. And there it goes. All right. We got that in. We can fold these back. And I think we're pretty much there. Just fold all these hip flaps back in place and tighten it up just a little bit. And I got to fix the tail again. Oh, man. Messing with the tail. I'm not having the most luck with the tail. It's not wanting to stay in. Fold the tip of the tail out. I will mess with it just a little bit more, get it tightened up a little bit more. But I mean, you get the gist of it. There it is. That's about what it looks like. But let me play with it just a little bit more, and then we'll look at this guy. Here he is in his cyber kitten mode, and I do have to admit, he does look pretty good. He does look quite interesting to me. And you can get him kind of sort of like this with a walking pose. He's taking a step forward. Again, all of the paint and all the aesthetic and shine translates over into this mode really well. But little limited on the posability. You can do all this with that front paw, and then you got the knee. And well, I mean, there's for a cat, what you would want to do. He does have posability in his mouth, so that works. That gets the job done. Will carry over swivel and some ab movement. Not a lot, actually. It's kind of not much, but no side to side. These tabs actually tabbed in. I didn't realize it doesn't even look like there's a way for them to tab in. They tab in. Still got a little bit of articulation going on with these back legs and feet. Tail up and down and side to side, and it really just kind of all over the place, but gets the job done. I think he looks pretty good, and gosh, at this point, I don't really know what I would compare this guy to, but yeah, he looks pretty decent overall and gets the job done. Stylized, but I actually feel like this captures sort of a bit of the G1 itself with the way it looks, because it is pretty clean. It's not just super kibbly in the alt mode, so it's a very clean alt mode, and I like that about it. Weapon storage, you do have this notch, this slot in this gun, and a notch up top here, so that just tabs on. And I'm so used to this on any cat that has a sword. I'm used to seeing it just fit back here for whatever reason. I'm not sure if this was intended, but you can make that work if that was a thing. I mean, it works, but to me it's almost everything that's got a sword that looks like it has a tail and a sword. It feels like that's always the intention. I'm not 100% sure they intended it, but it's a thing you can do. Really wasn't sure what to compare it to, so it's a random smattering of figures and vehicles and comparisons. But it's McFans Toys New Age, Magic Square. Magic Square? Magic Square, Magic Square? I think it's all Magic Square, mostly. But yeah, it's kind of fun to have some extras that I can leave in the alt mode for comparisons, and that works. Alright, so what do I think about this guy? I think he is actually really cool. Good looking figure. I think he looks decent in both modes. And yeah, a little bit with the kibbly with the paws on the forearms, which I do not like when companies do that. But I really don't know what else they would have done in this case. But I do kind of think it's cool looking. Now, I'm a super G1er, so I want my stuff to look ultra G1. But I am very impressed with what they're doing with this set. I'm impressed with what they're doing with the Masterpiece set. So they've done really good work on these. They're going to be doing some stuff with some dinos in Masterpiece. I don't know if they're going to do Legends dinos, but I did get this at Show Z. I'm going to have a link down below where you can pick this up if you are in on this set. But I'm curious, are you in on this set? Were you in on the Masterpiece set? Or is this something that you're just looking at from afar? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. And Tidarium Hanger out.